haven't seen it, it's in my description down below. If you want to check it, check it.
Greetings, friends. The YouTube channel Above is Below said something in a video the other day very quickly that has stuck in my mind, and that was that there was a Project Bluebird and that the avatar of Twitter is a bluebird. And so I've been thinking about that and looking into it a little bit. I've tried to find something that comes as close to being a synopsis of that project as I can. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I just thought it was worth mentioning. The Manchurian Candidate is compelling evidence the reality of therapist-created multiple personality disorder. The condition has been created deliberately by mind-controlled doctors.
Upload on this channel, except I'm allowed to have a little bit more freedom with what I say because I don't have...
Experiments to create Manchurian Candidate super spies must be understood in their social and historical context, which is one of pervasive, systematic mind control experimentation, not by a few isolated renegade doctors, but by the leaders of psychiatry in the major medical schools, because this book is likely to provoke extreme reactions. I've taken great care to present only facts which are fully documented and based on objective public domain information. Multiple personality disorder is now classified by the American Psychiatric Association as dissociative identity disorder. According to my definition, the Manchurian Candidate is an experimentally created dissociative identity disorder that meets the following four criteria. Created deliberately, a new identity is implanted, amnesia barriers are created, used in simulated or actual operations. That the CIA created Manchurian Candidate is a fact and easy to understand and justify from a national security perspective. They say they're not criticizing the CIA or the military because they're not an expert on intelligence matters, but they are psychiatrists specializing in dissociative disorders. Bluebird blows the whistle on extensive political abuse of psychiatry in North America in the second half of the 20th century. Many thousands of prisoners and mental patients were subjected to unethical mind control experiments by leading psychiatrists and medical schools. Organized academic psychiatry has never acknowledged this history. The network of mind-controlled doctors involved in Bluebird has done a great deal of harm to field of psychiatry and to psychiatric patients. His goal is to break the ugly silence. Moving ahead, Artichoke and Bluebird were administratively rolled over into MK Ultra, which was created by the CIA on April 3rd, 1953. MK Ultra was in turn rolled over into MK Search on June 7th, 1964. MK Search then ran until June of 1972, at which time extensive shredding of MK Ultra and MK Search files was ordered by the director of the CIA, Richard Helms. The surviving MK Ultra documents could be obtained from the CIA. Under the FOIA Act, there was a round of declassification of mind control documents in the 1970s, which were the foundation of books published in the 1970s and 80s. A document entitled Hypnotic Experimentation and Research describes a simulation experiment of relevance to the creation of Manchurian Candidate assassins. Miss Blank was then instructed, having previously expressed a fear of firearms, that she would use every method at her disposal to awaken Miss Blank, now in deep hypnotic sleep. And failing this, she would pick up a pistol nearby and fire it at Miss Blank. She was instructed that her rage would be so great that she would not hesitate to kill Blank for failing to awaken. Miss carried out these suggestions to the letter, including firing the unloaded gun at deleted and then proceeding to fall into a deep sleep. After proper suggestions were made, both were awakened and expressed complete amnesia for the entire sequence. Miss Blank was again handed the gun, which she refused in an awakened state to pick up or accept from the operator. She expressed absolute denial that the foregoing sequence had happened. This also reminds me of that show, the episode of Black Mirror, where there's this woman who is constantly, it's like she's kind of in a dream state, and then she's in front of this audience, and she's like in a constant state of torture, and they're telling her things that she's done some sort of murder or abuse or something. MK Ultra was divided into 149 sub-projects. Yeah, I didn't really mean to go too much into the MK Ultra part. A CIA memorandum for MK Ultra sub-project 142 describes the control of animals through stimulation of brain electrodes. The overall goal was clear: to control the mind and behavior and to create dissociation through a combination of drugs, hypnosis, brain, electrode implants, electric shock, and beaming different kinds of energy at the brain. The ability to create limited controlled amnesia through a variety of methods was a primary goal of the mind control programs. Brain electrode experiments were also conducted in humans. Dr. Jose Delgado, a neurosurgeon and professor at Yale, received funding for brain electrode research on children and adults. He was able to control the movements of his animal and human subjects by pushing buttons on a remote transmitter box. In one paper, Dr. Delgado describes the cats as mechanical toys. An 11-year-old boy underwent a partial change of identity upon remote stimulation of his brain electrode. Electrical stimulation of the superior temporal convolution induced feminine striving and confusion about his own sexual identity. The patient, an 11-year-old boy, said, "I was thinking whether I was a boy or a girl, which I'd like to be, and I'd like to be a girl." After one of the stimulations, the patient suddenly began to discuss his desire to get married to the female interviewer. So the point being that all of these things, Twitter and Facebook, they're not created by an individual. They're all coming from an intelligence agency, and it's actually Silicon Valley phrase that says if something is free, then you are the subject, or you are the product. And there's the, of course, the logo or avatar. And I listened to some people on YouTube that seem to be experiencing some of this alternate reality psychosis type stuff that goes along with these projects. So do with that what you will, and I will talk to you soon.